Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is preseason football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be an interesting matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and the Los Angeles Chargers. With that, let's get out to Southern California with the call from Los Angeles. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports, and we are at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. Tonight, it's a preseason matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and our home team. Charles Davis alongside me, and I'm Brandon Godden. And, folks, the wait is over. Yes, it's just the preseason, but football is back in your living room.
And I'm excited. I know you are as well. The summer heat feels good on these old bones, especially because we're not putting on pads. We don't have to be out there in that heat running into other people. But I'm glad these guys are. Football is back.
Here's the punter, Rigoberto Sanchez, on to get us started. And we are underway in Southern California. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
Ready. No, check. He's Mike. And we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving.
They'll run. This is Melvin Gordon. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They run it here with Gordon. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. They'll try and run it. Here's Gordon. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run. You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1 yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
Ready. Good trap. You're out.
They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And they work this out past the 25. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
I suspect this is one of those calls the defensive coordinator would love to have back.
Absolutely.
Feels like he took a bit of a gamble here. And I remember when I was playing, when we had a team really backed up, there was a talk about, let's go ahead and get upfield and get a safety. And sometimes that works against you because they really hit them big, didn't they?
They were hoping for a couple yards of breathing room. They got a lot more than that. Now this will go for 5 up to the 33.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
It's just me and you.
Looking to throw on second down. Campbell, nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
I'm plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Off play action. Campbell. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag. And now a hit and a loose football. And the Colts pick it up. And he will score. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A big play there. Taking it in as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turning to his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Oh, fighting off the defender. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. The Chargers getting set to go. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys are a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. Just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'm trying to do better here. And let's go through the starting defense for Indianapolis.
Bud Dupree came out of the University of Kentucky determined to let everyone know that they play football there as well as basketball. A terrific pass rusher off the edge.
Come get some. Come get some. Ready?
On second down, it's Gordon. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. And the Colts coming out now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. Looking to throw. Campbell. This one complete to Devin Funchess. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Devin Funchess. 67 yards. And the Colts strike quickly here for 6 points.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field, and that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
Here's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments and doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Mike is 59. Mike the 59. 3 bucks, 3 bucks, 3 bucks. 5.
Throwing on third down, Tannehill. Complete, Hunter Henry with a grab. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position, backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
Joey Bosa in on the stop.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
Campbell to throw on second down. That'll be taken in by Damiere Byrd. And he's taken down, but able to get this up to the 20-yard line. So the previous play, a big help, as now they'll have it 1st and 10 up at the 20. They'll run on 1st down with Marlon Mack. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Come on, baby. Let's see what you got.
This is Hines, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
One thing that really impressed me about Joey Bosa is that he doesn't sacrifice the run game trying to get sacks. This guy really knows how to hold the point of attack, great leverage, and then goes and sheds people and makes plays.
And at 6'5", 270, just a monster.
Absolute monster with a really high motor.
Campbell now to throw on 3rd down. And he gets it to Funchess, complete. A gain of 11 that time and a Colts 1st down. A pretty sizable deficit here in the first quarter. This defense probably need to get off the field in those situations on 3rd down.
And you and I both know in this huddle before that last 3rd down play, that's exactly what they talked about. Let's make a play. Let's get off the field. Let's reverse the momentum. Instead, they got hit with another 1st down, almost back to the drawing board.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They run with Hines. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Let's go. 18 games. Mark check 33. 33. I'm coming after you.
And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. He's going to air one out. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw again, Madsen. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down deep into Charger territory.
Let's go! Let's go!
A huge play that time for the Colts. 42 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Off the play fake. Madsen. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, helped force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down.
6 guys, 6-6, pull it high. 5.
Throwing again. Madsen. And that is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Colts, they add on to their advantage. Now the extra point try forthcoming.
The defense is doing their best, but they're struggling right now. They'll look for some help from their own offense to keep them in the game.
And his kick is right through. So that one a long 11-play drive. And the result for the Colts is a touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Chargers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. Thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
A pretty big opening there on first down. 8 yards up to the 33. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. The inside linebacker, Danny Trevathan, gets the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Pick me up. Here we go.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. And a quick throw here, that's complete. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And they have had success on the ground, really as a team, doing well carrying the football. So maybe a little less pressure on his shoulders as the quarterback.
Any pressure he's carrying right now, that's self-inflicted, right? He's taking it on. He doesn't need to. Continue to do what you just said. Let everyone else carry the football. That's been effective. Don't have to worry about him throwing the ball in all the situations now. That's got to be a good feeling if he just relaxes and lets it keep coming to him.
Yeah, and relax and enjoy the second quarter lead right now. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Here we go. 60 Pittsburgh. Ready.
Now it's Hines. And he's going to get across midfield and into Charger territory. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
First play of the drive. Let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking. But the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
On 2nd down now, it's Hines, and he'll get it down to the 47 here. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
53, Mike. Let's set a tone, fella. There. Alert 3. Check. Go.
Off play action. Madsen. That's going to be caught. It's Jacoby Myers. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A well-executed 22-yard gain. This quarterback now 3 out of 5 since taking over as he's given his guys a first down.
218, chop it. Wide, get wide.
Here's Hines. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
QB's trash. Let's go. He's coming. Double up. He's coming. Double up. Go.
On 2nd down, it's Wilkins. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Let's go.
Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
Yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Hey, tighten down. There you go. Safe.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle, because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
From the gun on 3rd down. Madsen. They'll find Hines out of the backfield. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. And his kick is good. And that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that, and we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they've had multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we can draw so far, they're losing here in the second quarter. Let's see if they change tunes. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Chargers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Stick back to pass. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36.
They're still looking for their first touchdown of the game, and for a second, I thought they had it right there.
Looking on the sideline, it's finally good to see nods of approval as a welcome sign of life that this offense needed.
In our game, most of the starters have made their cameo and departed, but plenty of youngsters out there with a lot to gain or lose as we get you right back out to Brandon God.
Probably not likely to see many starters in the second half as we get back at it underway in this preseason opener. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Give them. Couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They run again with Wilkins. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, put a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. And he will not get there as they stop him short right around the 34-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Came up about a yard short, but I can't help it, Brandon. I love it when the big guy gets the football and he tries to battle his way forward. There's something about those guys carrying the ball and watching people trying to stop them. That's just great theater.
Very good return that time. 18 yards. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Boy, nowhere to go at all on that first down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
But these guys going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, it's Stick. And he fires one that's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Set, ready? 60 outlaw. Check, 53's mine. Watch the pass. Watch the pass. Get it.
On first down, Wilkins trying to run inside, but nothing there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
To throw on 2nd down. Reese taken in by the tight end Doyle. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. Third down turns to first with that 5-yard pickup.
So it's pretty simple, partner. You pick up a turnover, set you up in excellent field position. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out in this spot.
Yeah, they would have had to settle for a field goal attempt, but now they keep those touchdown hopes alive.
Ready? 8, read.
Tackles.
Rush in. West. Rush in.
On first and 10, Reese looking for Cooper. That's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
On second down now, it's Wilkins. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And they're going to face a third down.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping.
They'll keep it on the ground. Wilkins. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And that hits off the left upright, and it caroms away, no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And no mistaking that sound. It reverberated through the whole stadium.
And it's the sound, Brandon, no kicker wants to hear. It looked like he had it on target the whole way, but the upright said,
And here's a good way to kick off a drive, complete over the middle. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 18 big yards on that one, and a Charger first.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
That hole's coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Call that a gain of 5 as the clock ticks inside of 2 minutes to go now in the third. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. And he's got him. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts' 45-yard line.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
This quarterback now rebounding nicely after the interception. He's hit 4 straight to start the drive. It's first down. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. 25 yards, the pickup there, and also a first down.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
Took till the second half, but finally a red zone opportunity here. First and 10 right at the 20. Here's Grant. And now running right through him. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. It'll be first and goal when we come back. We'll return with more preseason football on EA Sports.
Go now. 10 logo.
Check tight, check tight, check tight.
Stick looks to throw. And Brait, the tight end's got it. He'll get only 2 there, and it's second and goal.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And this will be caught in the end zone for a Chargers touchdown. Cameron Brate there to make the grab. And the Chargers are able to close the gap just a bit. So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give them credit for that. Too little, too late, but no zero. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. Now all of a sudden we've got an interesting game here. You just saw them go down and score a touchdown. And what was a comfortable lead at halftime, it's down to a 2-score game.
And so the obvious thought is they've got to ramp things back up again. Got to get the offense into high gear. But we've seen this before. When you've kind of been in shutdown mode for a while thinking that you're okay, it's hard to mash the gas again and have everything work perfectly. They've got to fashion together a good drive right here and now.
Because defensively, got to be feeling confident. They haven't allowed a point this half.
Get in the weight room. Get in the weight room. He's crashing.
Ready? On first down, McCauley. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion.
Check it out, Reed. Kill.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. McCauley, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The former third-round pick, Justin Jones, bringing the lumber that time. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's really a difficult task.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Going to throw right side here, complete. And they convert on third with a gain of 22. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football, because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
16 yards is the pickup there and a first down for L.A.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll make it a second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
The throw down the field, caught by his running back. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play. If you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. On second down, Eckler. And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Taking it in from 11 yards out as his guys are able to pull a bit closer.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of...
Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. A very pivotal two-point try that does not go their way. Now it's a big uphill battle for the rest of the fourth quarter.
The attempt was to try and make it a one-score game, right? Touchdown, get 2, and now you've tied it up. Instead, they don't get it, still down 10.
Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It'll be a gain of 17 and an Indianapolis first down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Back to throw. McCauley. Now they go screen. It's complete. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This is a 40-yard attempt from the left hash. And his kick here is good. And that will stretch the lead up to 13. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points, so while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
So the Chargers now down on the scoreboard. And time, a huge factor. You can't say the preseason isn't interesting. This has been great as they come up 1st and 10. first and 10. Stick. He'll get this to Eckler. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. The clock still runs. We're at 90 seconds now. To throw again on second down. Stick. Throwing right, and that's complete. First down now, but the clock continues to move. Stick looking to throw on first and 10. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Porter. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Charger first down. Here's Stick looking to throw.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
Watch that in. Watch that in.
Looking to throw again on second down. Stick, and it's caught. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up first and goal. Now Stick. And this is going to be caught. So it affects the final score, not the outcome, but it is a late touchdown here on the game's final play. Doesn't affect the outcome, but, hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. Well, on the one side, if you try to take away something positive from this game, they played to the final whistle, getting the touchdown there on the last play. But still, all for naught, really.
Yeah, I'd say give them points for positivity. I like that. That part is good. But I often wonder, when the game is settled and the clock is run out, do we really need to kick the extra point?
Oh, yeah. It's silly. It's silly.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I know that people have explained before, well, you got to play it all the way through. Come on, this thing was done.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn